Hello, welcome to The Conversation on News Central Television. This is a program where we bring you up to speed with all the political happenings on the African continent. I am Benga Aburo.
And I am Rita Omodia. Today on The Conversation, we will be looking at Nigeria, where the suspended national chairman of the Labour Party announced that he and 3 other members have resumed office after filing a motion of stay.
Also on the program, we will be looking at the top-level meeting which was held between the Ugandan and Russian foreign ministers over Ukraine Black Sea grain deal. Quite a lot happening in Africa and around the world.
Definitely. I mean, we saw within the week, I think on Monday or Wednesday, where there was going to be a delegation of African leaders, Zimbabwe, Uganda, President South Africa, all trying to make a peace mission so that the war between Russia and Ukraine, they can come to a concession, so to say.
Yeah, because it does have ripple effects, negative ripple effects around the world. The price of crude oil has gone up, and of course, food security concerns with the grains, and also Africa's dependency on foreign grain. So quite a lot is happening. And on the local scene too.
Yeah, local scene, we definitely have situations in Nigeria. I mean, Labour Party has been in the news throughout this week. And unfortunately, we're seeing a situation where a governor-elect has been declared, or rather his candidacy has been nullified by a federal high court sitting in Kano State, where the candidates in Abia and Kano State are saying that their positions, their candidacy has been nullified due to the fact that the registration of the parties did not meet with the guidelines of the Electoral Act of 2022. And it's quite a sad one. I don't know how it's going to pan out. We're seeing different talks on it and saying that, okay, they would actually try and appeal the judgment.
So the question is, why do you let people spend their resources, go for elections, and then if you know somebody is not qualified, their names shouldn't even be on the ballot? So these are some of the issues they need to look at. Also on the local front, Ojukwu versus the Nigerian police force. And I saw an editorial a cartoon in Business Day today, and they said, finally, dog bites man. Because the Nigerian police has a history of repression against ordinary people. That's why Nigerians went to protest during the NSAS, and finally somebody did something back. But it's almost, I'm not support of what Ojukwu did, but it's almost like there's a history of repression, and it's almost very vindictive now, because the latest we're hearing is they want to test his blood after going through the back door to get an injunction to extend his detention. I mean, I'm sure he's remorseful now, but please let justice be served.
Yeah, definitely he's remorseful. Like, what he did was wrong, but the way at which the police is going about it, would have thought that this case would have been over. I mean, there's been a fine given on to him. So why are you still extending this investigation, searching his house and all of that? These are still discussions we'll continue to have, and we'll wait to see how this all pans out. But we'll begin discussions in Nigeria.
Yes, let's begin in Nigeria, where the crisis in the opposition Labour Party is deepened. And the latest development, the national chairman of the party, Julius Abure, and 3 others say they are back in the office after filing a motion of stay at the appeal court. Abure and 3 other party officials were previously restrained by the Abuja High Court from functioning as party officials, alleging that the affected national officers had forged several documents from the FCT High Court to carry out unlawful substitutions in the 2023 general elections.
Following Abure's suspension, Lamidi Papa, a deputy national chairman of the party, has assumed the leadership of the Labour Party in an acting capacity, creating a perceived faction within the party. It's worth noting that tensions between the Abure and the Papa factions escalated on Wednesday at the presidential election petition court in Abuja, where the Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi are contesting the victory of Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress in the February 25 presidential election. And now joining us for this conversation, we have Olusegun Okunade, a public affairs analyst. He joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. We also have Ziggy Ibe. He's also a public affairs analyst. He joins us from Lagos, Nigeria. Gentlemen, welcome to the conversation.
Good evening, Rita, and good evening, Benga.
Good evening to you. Thank you very much.
Good evening. So let's begin with the grounds that Julius Abure is bringing in. So on what grounds is he claiming his return to official position as leader of the party? And in your own assessment, is he justified by his actions?
Okay, thank you very much. If you look at the way our judiciary system has been playing of late, it's quite disheartening. some of the happenings. But be it as it may, they are the people that an average citizen tends to count on. If you look at when the issue was raised against Abure by Papa and its clique, I knew quite all right that they are going to challenge it. With what Abure did to have a stay of execution for now, he has returned back to the office. But we ask ourselves, do we actually need some of these shenanigans that are actually playing out for the political parties if we all agree to have the same ideology and we come together to say that the interests of the masses are what we are actually galvanizing for? It's quite shocking. Even when you look at the position Apata has been taking in the last few weeks as regard the tribunal, you ask yourself the question, in whose interest is he actually representing? Is it for the party or acting against the party? So these are some of the shenanigans we see in politics, but we've actually said the judiciary needs to stand up to their responsibility to make sure that we have some of these processes when it comes to issue relating to election being carried out as soon as possible, so that the citizen who have actually carried out some of their, executed some of their time can have the dividend of democracy. Enough of all these shenanigans, even in democracy, so that we can have the best of it.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to bring in Ziggy into the conversation. Thank you very much for joining us, Ziggy. Now, the factional leader of the Labour Party, Lamidi Papa, claims he's only working in an acting capacity following the court orders restraining Abure. Where does this place Lamidi Papa in the leadership scheme of the Labour Party now that Mr. Abure is back? And what do you make of the whole drama in the Labour Party?
We are very funny people in this country. When he favors us, and when the courts kind of give a decision on issues that favors us, the first you hear us say is the court is the final hope of a poor man. But if it doesn't, the next you could hear is no, the democracy is in danger. At this point, I think the court made a pronouncement, and that pronouncement was that Abure and a few other national officers should step aside for a particular issue that was leveled against them to be decided by the court. And the way it is now, Abure is not giving in because he feels he has been shortchanged in a way. Then a Papa who on his own decide to step in, not on his own, sorry, the court has affirmed him as a substantive chairman, refused to give in to because both issues are hovering around the two people who felt they would be shortchanged by the system. But you see, we have history of chairman or leadership of parties being asked to step aside, and they've done that. In time past, Oshomole, who was a chairman of APC, was asked to step aside for certain infractions. He did. The party accepted it, and Oshomole was daring, asked to leave that office or vacate the office. You know, he did. Recently, not too far from now, before now, Ayu was equally asked to vacate his office for certain grievances within the party. Ayu did, but I find it terribly difficult why LP, Labour Party, is not getting it right in their acceptance of issues concerning our judiciary. When cases are thrown up, I think, and the people involved feel grieved
Now, Ziggy, don't you think the reason why the Labour Party is opposed to the leadership of Lamidi Apapa is because, I mean, he's trying to withdraw the presidential election petition tribunal, the case for the Labour Party. And that's, I mean, you look at all the resources that has been put in. Even the man, Peter Obi himself has not agreed to withdraw his petition. So he's doing it unanimously.
It seems we don't obey.
Ziggy, can you hear us? Okay, Olusha, so I think we want your opinion on all of this. I mean, the reasons why we're still seeing Lamidi Apapa in this position and, you know, Abure still saying, okay, I am supposed to be the leader and there is no faction going on in the party. We also see a situation where Lamidi Apapa accused the presidential candidate, Peter Obi, of being responsible for the leadership crisis rocking the party by not obliging to the court order suspending Abure. Now, he also branded Peter Obi a liar for denying his position in the party. Do you feel that Peter Obi has any role in all this trouble we're seeing going on in the party, and probably he should have just accepted what the court had said?
Yeah, you see, the House is divided against itself, cannot make an headway. In line with what Ziggy was saying, I would have feel that Abure, for now, rather than appealing, step aside and see what see the best that Apata. You know, one thing about this is they were working together before now, not too long differences start coming in, and we've seen when it comes to politics, politicians do not act based on the interest of the people, but because of their personal gain and interest that they have to protect. Because you asked me, if you have the same ideology and you came together in unison to champion a cause, why the division where you feel there's a function? What Apata only did, being the most senior, after they asked Abure to step aside, was just to take leadership so that there won't be a vacuum. And I want to support the fact that I would have expected Abure to possibly step aside and see the result of what we'll get from the injunction. He seems not to have confidence in the judiciary, and that's part of the problem we faced in this part of the world, not having confidence in the judiciary, because maybe one way or the other, we feel we have just the sense, that sensation that the injunction will not favor us. But I want to feel that this is not in the best interest of the Labour Party. Looking at the antecedents of some of this problem, Labour Party is not the first to face this challenge of being asked to step aside as a national chairman. And we feel they should just respect the court, not going on appealing. When you continue with this division, you will definitely lose traction, even in the case that they feel they are.
But Olusha, so if he does, I mean, of course, you have to obey court orders. That's why we're in a constitutional democracy. But the danger of allowing Lamidi Apapa that has shown his mission or his antecedents that he wants to withdraw Peter Obi's case without express permission from the man himself, it's quite dangerous to allow him to act on its own will. So is that a valid enough reason?
But you know that it's not only the party that is in this case. It's in conjunction with Peter Obi. And when I saw that initial stuff, I gave kudos to him that it's Labour Party in conjunction with Peter Obi. So even if the party decides to step down the case, Peter Obi can continue, challenging the status quo of things. So I would have feel that on the part of the party, rather than having division within themselves, if Apapa decides to go the route he wants to go, Peter Obi is still in contention with the case, and the party, challenging the status quo can continue rather than flouting the ruling or the injunction given by the court. The High Court. Yeah, definitely we know that they will challenge it at the Court of Appeal, but you can imagine Apapa too will come. That is distraction on its own, and when you look at the cost implication and the division, the end result will be that both of them might lose out, and the other party will have the way, even at the tribunal case.
Yeah, and still looking at this division you're talking about, we've seen two of them being accused of anti-party activities. I mean, on one side, Lamidi Apapa has actually been accused of collecting billions of naira for the opposition party. We also see a situation where we've seen Abure meeting with Akpabio, who is supposedly been the candidate of the Senate presidency. And then two of them are being accused of either supporting PDP or APC. So what do we make of all of this? And we're seeing a situation where another former deputy chairman of the party is also claiming leadership of the party. How is it going to pan out for Labour Party, especially with the leadership positions?
Ziggy, yes.
Just like he said there, the issue with us is sometimes we are not truthful and we are not rightly with what we do. Because if you were in a party and you felt shortchanged in a way, the best option you do is to approach the court. Now they've gone to the court, but it's becoming a family squabble. You know, a situation where a particular faction will say no, we will not accept this. The other faction will say no, we will not accept it. Then there will be trouble in the house. And certainly, when this is not calmed on time, the house will crumble. The danger in all this is that at the end of the day, LP and their presidential candidates, Peter Obi, might not have a headway. You know, they might not have a good way to prove their case beyond the reasonable doubt, because a divided house automatically is a confused house, and the other opposition party will take the lead. They will take the advantage of that. We only advise them to put their house in order, because the way Abure is going, like just this evening, we heard that a court of competent decision has reinstated Abure. Then where does this place Apapa on his own, with his own group, are saying no, we are the rightful leadership of the party. And in all, these squabbles will disintegrate the party and break them into crucibles. And when this is done, then they'll lose more than they think they could have gained from the whole of this.
Okay.
We only advise them to put their house in order. Apapa, nobody should be. What I see in all this is this self-aggrandizement, opportunity. You know, being trying to gain maybe upper hand where you don't supposed to have. You know, I'm not a member of the party, but we are telling them, because when their house is in order, we now have a very opposition party who can actually checkmate the party in the lead.
Okay.
Okay. Because
thank you very much, Ziggy. Because we're fast running out of time, I'd like to let Chesson have the last say here. Chesson, earlier today, we received news that a lot of people thought was quite shocking. Now, what are your thoughts on the nullification of the Abia State Governor-elect, Dr. Alex Otti, and all the Labour candidates of the Labour Party in Abia and Kano State by the Federal High Court sitting in Kano? The court ruled that their emergence was not in compliance with the provisions of the 2022 Electoral Act. Are there any concerns with this ruling?
It's quite disturbing, I must say, because I feel that candidates, at least with the struggle of the Labour Party, have been able to produce a candidate that can represent them at the neck when the old governor will be meeting with the president-elect when they are being inaugurated. But with this that we have, I know definitely it will be appealed. Whatever they've said now, you know what happened in Osun State. It started from the tribunal, the court, until they get to the Supreme Court. So it's just the beginning of the game. The inauguration, I can tell you, will still continue. The legal arm of the governorship-elect, Dr. Otti, will definitely put their filing and challenge it. They will appeal the case and they put their position before the court. And whatever the position is, we have it again to the Supreme Court. So it's just starting, but I don't think this will alter anything as related to the inauguration.
But how does the High
They
Court
will
in
not have, it's not
Kano
the Supreme Court.
pass judgments on an issue that is in Abia State? I found that quite strange.
You said?
How does the High Court in Kano State, sitting in Kano, all the way in Kano, pass judgment on an issue that has to do with Abia State?
Well, you know, I'm not a legal luminary, but I know that you can take your case anywhere. We've seen that happen severally, where a case that is meant for a state in the southwest is taken to the east. The one for the north is brought to the southwest. It's the legal people that can understand.
Okay.
They are only trying to make us understand that there is no boundary when it comes to you executing your case. But I feel that that should have been handled in a court of competence in Abia State. But I'm sure those that took it to Kano understand that they will be favored at that particular area, and that's why they took it there.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Olusegun Okwade, Public Affairs Analyst, and also Ziggy Ibe, Public Affairs Analyst, join us from Lagos. We do appreciate your contributions and your insights on the subject. You're watching The Conversation on News Central Television. When we come back from this quick timeout, we'll be discussing Uganda and Russian Foreign Ministers meeting over Ukrainian grain deal. But stay with us. We'll be right back after this.